Hello and welcome to Good Brews, Bad Views, the podcast that asks if great beer makes bad movies any better. I am your host, Max Storowich, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, both the men in black coming in from the wasteland. One, Ryan Everart.
Hello, always pay your taxes on time, everybody.
And one, James Thorpe.
Hello.
Yes. So, today we are watching the movie Gallowwalkers, starring the one and only Wesley Snipes.
And a bunch of short women, right?
And a bunch of, a bunch of short women in some very good costumes. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, thank you for joining us.
Max just blew right by that.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It was great, but we're powering past it.
Yep. How this podcast is going to work is we're going to watch a bad movie today, one Gallowwalkers, and we are going to be drinking some delicious beer alongside of it and talking about the movie, cracking wise about it, and hopefully having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast is just intended to be watched alongside the movie. Ryan's going to tell you in a little bit where we are in the opening credits, so you can watch along with us if you so want. If not, we're going to kind of narrate things through, just so you can kind of follow along if you're listening. And you guys, you got anything to add in before we get into this fine film?
No, I just want to slam this beer down my gullet and ignore the movie.
Oh yes,
That's
we
where
are
I'm
today.
headed right now.
We'll just get into this now. We are drinking a beer much too good for this movie.
Agreed.
And this podcast.
Probably as well.
This is going to be a good night for James, I can tell.
Yep. We are drinking Batch Brewing Company's Requieted from 2016. It is a Grand Cru aged in bourbon barrels, and it is phenomenal.
So good. We'll get into that, though.
Yes. But Ryan, tell the fine folks at home where they can watch this movie.
All right, fine folk who is listening, singular. We are
Hi, Mom.
accessing Gallowwalkers via Netflix, and we are 12 seconds into the Netflix stream, and we're just on the tail end of the Wreckin' Hill Entertainment logo. So if anyone at home is watching along with us, press play now.
It's a bad intro.
It wasn't great.
Bad CGI on that intro.
I mean, they're going for a certain style for sure, but it still isn't good.
Sims 1.
Yeah, that's about what they're going for.
Sims 1. Put your baby on the front lawn, surrounded by big screen TVs.
What is that? That is some sort of winged centaur?
Mystical creatures.
That's a new thing.
Just looking at that too quickly, it looked like Jack Bauer.
Yeah.
Very confused by this movie.
Yeah. So here we have opening onto this desolate landscape of Namibia, I believe, which I believe is the same African country that Mad Max Fury Road was shot in, which would explain why this landscape looks a little bit familiar in this 2018.
Wesley Snipes' world is dreadlocks and blood.
Yep. That's not even Wesley Snipes talking.
All right.
It is a voiceover actor because at the time this was recorded, Wesley Snipes was already in prison for his several years of tax evasion.
Which was a bummer because, like, growing up, he was an action hero and an actor that I was like, you know what? I like this guy a lot. And then he's like, well, I'm kind of doing some shady tax shit.
So here we have a child carrying buckets of blood for reasons that will not be explained. There's a lot of things in this movie that are not explained, but visually are just kind of interesting.
Right.
Part of me is like, oh, this child is sacrificing blood to some kind of dark god while wearing a very bad wig.
Yeah, while wearing a Khaleesi outfit.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Daenerys, the early years.
Right.
Yeah.
Quit wasting the blood, boy.
Yeah. No.
Andy leaves the basement doors open.
Yeah. That's how you get deadites.
Yeah.
Or torture family zombies.
Yeah, right. It's like the difference between an elephant and an elephant seal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Snipes, right? What's his actual character's name? Amon?
Yes.
Anon?
No one's name, much like a Mad Max movie, no one's name is ever actually said in this movie. It's all just like things you learn from the credits.
Bum, bum, bum. Hello.
Yep.
And okay, so this is a bad movie, guys. This spoiler alert. It is. It's not great, but it does a lot of cool framing of scenes pretty frequently that I
it's shot interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, even that shot right there, it's
Yeah.
very really does a good job of capturing that there's nothing around this house or this like
Ranch.
Yeah.
ranch.
Is this based on any like graphic novel or a comic book or anything? I didn't look into it.
Not that I know of. I know this movie was in like pre-production for a number of years. It was originally going to star Chow Yun-fat as the
Really?
male, as the male lead.
He was
So-
probably too busy being Master Roshi in the amazing Dragon Ball movie.
Oh gosh.
Oof. Yeah, like a lot of times in this movie, a shot will be framed, and I'll be like, you know what, that would look cool as just a panel in a comic book or a graphic novel.
Well, we'll eventually get to the end credits of this movie,
Yeah,
thankfully.
right.
And the way that the end credits is kind of shot, or designed, is very interesting. And
Mm-hmm.
now we have flashback via the blue filter. Yeah.
Everything in the past is blue.
That's blue filter enough that guy could be Lobo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he could. That's funny.
So Wesley Snipes is spending all of his time out west because, as we all know, there's no taxes on the frontier.
Ain't no taxes in the sand, man. This movie just kind of cranks it up to 11 a couple times with the gore, and it's great.
Yeah. Well, it movie opened with it's the Birdemic birds. The movie opened with a child carrying 2 buckets of blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too far from being the beginning of a Jodorowsky film, specifically El Topo.
Another good shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just some very interesting shots that this movie has in it.
This intro to this group of characters is way better than this movie deserves.
Yeah. There's but the beginning of this movie feels a little bit like El Topo from Jodorowsky. There's just a lot of just like, hey, it's a weird thing in the desert of the frontier. Do we explain it? God, no. It just is. Accept it.
It just is.
Like these weird Spanish Inquisition motherfuckers coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when it come for you?
So, as
Yep.
well...
Mhm,
Oh,
mhm.
sorry, Ryan. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm just. This is what you do in the desert.
Yes.
You go up, you go down, and you just go. You just go forever.
How many of those little hand carts do you think were just destroyed by trains over the years?
Oh, so many. Just obliterated.
Yeah. So, as we'll soon learn, this is a Weird West movie, which means it's, a movie set in the American West with some kind of supernatural or fantastic element to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Now-
Pre-Vash the Stampedes.
Yeah. Or Ravenous,
Mhm.
best episode of the podcast ever,
Right.
to me and Ryan's agreement.
James is sharpening a shiv as we speak.
Yep. Falls in that category. I like that step of you see the guy stepping down from
Right.
the
From the
cart, and you
cart.
see the sole of his boots broken. So a lot is portrayed or established in that one kind of step that he's like a well-traveled
Mm-hmm.
individual guy. But little known fact: Big Trouble in Little China originally was a movie set in the West, like the Old West, as opposed to being modern day San Francisco. Interesting thing about that is they thought it would be too complex of a movie because one, you have something set in the West like this, you have to establish they're in the Old West. Now we have a creepy guy with his mouth sewed shut,
Right.
but the reason they decided not to do that is you have to establish that they're in the West, then they have to establish that there's all these Chinese mysticism within the movie, and it might have just been a little bit too much for audiences to really grasp into, throwing too much at the audience.
So is that guy just all the way into 2 delicious ring pops? Is that what I was getting from that close up of his knuckles? That's what it looked like.
Probably.
Val Kilmer is displeased.
He does kind of look like Val Kilmer in these shots, doesn't he? Yeah, and again, I don't know any of the other actors or actresses in this movie. The only notable one is Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
Ka-pew, pew, 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 pew.
Boyd's.
There's a lot of silent walking in this movie. Just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's fine. This is all normal. This is just what trees do.
They grow heads. Look, this is a great shot
Yeah,
right here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I never read the stories or watched the movie, but like The Gunslinger in the Dark Tower from Stephen King, I feel like there may have been shades of that in this. I don't know. But
can't
again, I
comment
don't know
on that.
anything about it, so I can't really comment on it.
James, anything to add about that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those are very much like Western tropes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the best shooter in the West is the hero, and there's some lone man who's just as good as he is that terrorizes people and causes
Travels
trouble.
the wastes.
Yeah.
Oh, now we've got the sepia.
So,
filter.
3 ring pops. Sorry. So the movie kind of drip feeds you backstory throughout the entire length of the film, which is okay. But at times, I just get a little annoyed that I just want to know what the hell's happening.
Yeah. And it's not until the very,
Mhm.
maybe the very end you kind of get a grasp of what's going on in this movie.
Every time I see a shot like someone being thrown off their feet, I just think of the Mythbusters episode where they thoroughly debunked that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys would have lived if they had starburns.
Adoy.
In this world would be spur burns, right?
Spurburns. Edward Spurburns.
Oh,
Oh, wait. I'm trying to remember how this guy... Spoilers, he dies in a minute here.
He gets sub-zeroed. But we'll get to that.
How does one learn that skill in the Wild West? Is it just an inherent weakness of being the undead?
Ryan, it's what happened to your character in that Delta Green game we played.
It is, you jerks. No, that was great, though.
For people who aren't, Ryan, James, Kayla, and our friend Rob, in our recent Delta Green game, Ryan's character got his spine and head removed from the bottom up.
Yep. I am very, very dead.
Yep. But you're alive again.
There's a shot very soon here where this guy opens his fucking mouth, I think. Right? Oh, there's that. Yep. That's a great effect.
Yeah.
That's rough. And then this. Which is a cool shot. Again, it's just like that would be a panel in a comic to me.
There's a bunch of random slow-mo in this movie that I can't really understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the frame skipping dream so slow-mo.
Now we have like some Fallout narration.
Let's just do a little bit of that. This is homemade jam. Never forget. I wonder if that horse's balls are shrinking and growing with the temperature in the environment.
I won't believe that this game or this movie is real unless it does.
Horseball physics.
Right.
Yeah, so now we're in some kind of zombie Westworld movie.
That's a series I gotta watch.
Westworld?
Hmm.
Yes, I think you should.
This,
There's some very good acting in that movie. Or, excuse me, series.
I believe it. This
Not the movie.
Yeah.
The Westworld movie is terrible.
Because you're going to have
Don't-
Yul Brenner chase you down for half an hour.
Yeah, don't watch that movie.
Is that Dick Van Dyke? Fucking Mary Poppins. This character is not explained well enough for me in this movie.
Well, by her rouge, she is a lady of the evening.
Right. Her I'm trying to remember what her character's name is for the credits. It's some one word thing. I'm gonna dig it up.
Random priest guy.
Priestman.
So this movie spent probably like $20 on sets.
Yeah, there's a good chance that they just looked for stuff to film around.
Yep. Like, oh, an old abandoned prospector shack. We'll just use that.
Right.
And there's Aladdin. He's got a lamp.
I wish for more chimney sweeps. This is cool though, how she just like lifts the knife off of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, dog. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
when you think about it, or when I think about it at least, there's a lot of similarities between the tropes that you see in westerns and the tropes you see in post-apocalyptic stories, like Fallout, for example. At least Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas. They're both set on the frontier in the West. It's man trying to survive in a desolate environment. The lone wanderer, surviving throughout the wastes and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, far more in the first two Fallout games than the more populated areas they select for the later.
Yeah, I think 3 and 4 really rely upon a nostalgia for the past of the areas that you're in. Especially like 3 is DC and 4 is Boston. It's the remnants of civilization and whatnot, as opposed to the desolation of, the Mojave and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks to different, almost different takes on Western tropes, though. You have the desolation of a lot of the early, Western films, almost like the spaghetti Western style.
Yes,
stuff.
yeah. There's definitely different kind of eras of the Western, quote unquote.
Right, and then you have the other ones that are much more about, bringing in a Western civilization.
Yeah, maintaining law and order in an area and whatnot.
And I think those speak a lot to that. That's the second one, but those are more of the ones where you would have more where you have the movies where it's either bandits have taken over or you're dealing a lot with the Confederacy.
Yes,
out that
yeah,
way,
like a Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
Third act.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Oh no, it's fine.
We just had a sniper.
Yeah.
Yep. There we have
Basically Ken Masters from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And his cowboy outfit. Cowboy
Yep.
Ken.
Cowboy. Alternate costume from the DLC.
Right.
Looks more like Ken than Ken from the Street Fighter movie we just watched.
That's 1,000% correct.
Yep.
Man, what a wild thing being in the desert. I like this. He's like, hey, help me out, bruh.
Yeah.
Get that last one.
Will he do it? Boom. I do appreciate a small thing that they didn't just instantaneously have the chains break. Like the bullet took time to get there. I appreciate stuff like
that's
that.
a nice little touch.
Bye.
The old guy just like, yep, I'm going to stay in this chair.
Hey, you guys, I think I'm going to draw up some wedding papers for this beverage. I think it's time to just pop the question. This is so good.
We are gathered here today to bring together this man and this beer. This nice 2016 Requieted and producer of the show, one Ryan Everhart.
Right. Who is not shaven for the occasion.
When have you ever? But James, what do you think of this beer?
I like it a lot. I actually think that this beer almost. I mean, one, it is boozy, so it fits on that. But
Yes, it's at a 15.4% ABV, so it is the most alcoholic beer we've drank on the podcast thus far.
It's really close to just being something that you would pour exactly what we did, which is like a 3 or 4 ounce pour and just sip on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But it's really smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
it does not taste as burny, alcoholic-y as you would
Right.
expect something this.
So I like my Belgians, especially my Belgian quads, but this is bourbon barrel stuff, and I'm very pleased with the end result. It's really well balanced, and it's super, super pleasant.
Yeah, I think
I
the
like this a
barrel
lot.
aging might just kind of smooth out that end of this beer. But
All right, so now we've got
Fabulous.
El Senor Snipo.
no, his name's literally Fabulous, the Ken Masters guy. This is a very interesting carriage design.
Boxes with wheels.
Yeah.
Or a sweet weapon.
Yeah, the guy in the back looks like Chandler.
He does. Oh, it's the Handmaids.
Right.
Yeah, like right there, that profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
No one knows what he does.
What do you think I am? Some sort of machinist? Are you trying to say masochist? Deep cuts for those who have seen Serving Sarah. with Bruce Campbell, weirdly enough.
Yes.
And
Yes,
Elizabeth
indeed.
Hurley, I believe.
Yeah. So these designs are very interesting. Like that cage, those cages they have made in there. Those are very interesting, and like just this little cart thing they're riding on. Like I haven't seen anything like that as far as designs. And we have these weird purple and white handmaids with dreadlocks.
Yeah, I wonder what the deal is with so many characters having dreads. I don't know.
Way to manage their long hair.
Yes. So we got a bunch of people with burlap sacks over their heads lining up at the gallows here. None of them are walking, so the title is a lie.
Gallows
Right, another gallows.
standers.
Yeah. Damn it, you got it before I could.
Gallow loiterers.
Well, the Children of the Corn extras, just standabouts.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, actually. All right, everybody stand still. We're just going to pull all the corn off the set and shoot a different movie.
I
It's a good
swear, half of that movie is just like dramatic shots of corn with like a quick zoom.
Dramatic cops!
It's a good government operation there, taking like 6 guys to get people off of, like 6 people to get bound people off of the cart. Each
Yeah.
one just hurled them to the next one.
One of the interesting things about Western movies or post-apocalyptic movies is there's often a much more diverse cast than what you would originally anticipate, because out on the fringes of society you don't have the societal norms or racial stereotypes of the such, which is it's nice to see.
Yeah.
This, in a movie full of scenes that kind of confuse me, I think this one confuses me the most.
Yes,
Like, who...
Jerry Gaza.
Virgin Eater.
He's
Sounds horrifying.
he's some kind of sheriff or something like that.
He's got the star. That makes it official, right?
Womb of Vipers. That's an insult. Or I don't know.
So what I glean from this very interaction here is that he used to frequent the whorehouse, I guess?
Possibly,
What I
yeah.
get out of that?
Yep.
He calls the dancer Whore Babylon. I call he Discount the Wolf from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Like Discount Harvey Keitel?
Yep, that's the name.
Yeah. Idiots. Those are some shoes, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed the spurs looked like teeth. I think it was bone spurs.
Yeah.
Jokes.
The
design is great. The execution's a little funky, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, did he flay himself? Or what is going on? Because that's like, his musculature is all like sand covered and such.
I want to get your guys' opinion. Right now, does the guy on the left, does he look like demon version of Alan Tudyk to anyone else? Because he does to me.
I could see that.
He looks like Cenobite Alan Tudyk.
His fingernails creep me out.
I just noticed that.
Ah! Ooh!
Huh?
Kiss. Cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a very cool comic booky kind of naming thing going on with her. I don't know.
Yeah. Her design's good.
Yeah.
They play a lot with eyes in this movie.
They do,
which
yeah.
I appreciate.
I'm surprised why his eyes are blue.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things they don't really explain.
I assume the yellow eyes were a way of showing that they've been zombified or whatnot.
Yeah,
but it's very inconsistent
Yeah,
because
but-
spoilers, you'll find out that Wesley Snipes has died before, or there's multiple characters who have
Right.
throughout this movie who are undead. So
I thought he was going to make it talk like a puppet. How good do I look? Tell me.
but no, the makeup's pretty good on that.
Yeah. That must have been a bitch to get ready too.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Everything from the torso
yeah.
up. Look at that.
Yep.
It's like a different kind of Deadpool suit. You know what he looks like? He looks like Attack on Titan giants. That's what he looks like.
Oh, but just not as red.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't get into that series.
I haven't actually seen any.
Yeah.
This character is pretty good, actually. I ended up liking this guy as a character.
Yeah.
Liking meaning I thought he was cool.
I don't
he
him. Hams it up.
Harvey Light-L? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get all your puns in now while you still can.
Puns.
His mustache is weird.
Yeah. It's an odd shaving choice.
He's got one lip and one mustache.
Yeah, it looks fine.
I like the sound design here. If you can hear his like
Skin tightening.
tendons and his body's getting used to the skin.
I had to double check that this wasn't Perfectus from Death Race.
Oh my gosh, I had the same thing written down.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Yep. All right.
It's Wild West Perfectus.
Again, 70% of this movie is silently standing or walking in the desert.
Like most westerns.
Yeah.
Dramatic shots of eyes.
Why are they blue?
He's taken the spice. He has drank the water of life.
Kapow! Kapow!
It's high noon.
Yeah. Team kill.
For as cool as a lot of the rest of the movie was, I thought the sheriff holding, or the quote unquote sheriff holding his arm up in the air and like slowly falling back was
super
really
cheesy.
cheesy.
Yeah.
Did you just wipe out the three amigos?
Yep.
Looked like it. Pow! Bing bong! Dinner's ready.
And now the Knights of Knee show up.
Yep. Also what I've written down. They're also the horsemen of the zero budget apocalypse.
All right. I would have liked to have seen Angel, that's the dancer's name,
Yep.
to have done a lot more in this movie. Just a lot more damage, a lot more stuff
Run,
to make
Jimi
you care
Hendrix.
about her. Yeah. Flashback? I don't know. Who even
Weird
knows what's happening
dissolve.
right now? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was bizarre. Same desert, different desert, all deserts.
City of Charcoal.
To the gallows, to the gallows. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, I spy with my little eye
Uh-huh.
something brown.
Fabulous's shirt.
Nailed it.
Something they never really get into in this movie, but I've noticed is Wesley Snipes is often covered in spirals. Like he has that spiral kind of brooch thing.
Oh yeah.
Later we see him with some kind of spirally war paint.
Mm-hmm. I wish his character didn't have dreads. I think it's just one touch
Too many.
Too many. Because I like a lot of his outfit.
Yeah, it looks like.
Or they didn't have the white in his beard. Like he looks like a character that would have been made in like a fighting game character builder, being sarcastic a little bit.
Yeah,
because he's got a great profile. Like he fits into the outfit really well. He looks strong. He looks like a big a guy you want.
He's an imposing
mess
dude.
with. Yeah.
Yeah. The gray in the beard is a little much. Yeah. The dreads are also. I don't have as much problem with the dreads. The gray in the beard, though. If it's
I'm leaning more with you on this one, Max. I don't mind the dreads, but the beard thing just looks really artificial.
Yeah, if that I'm completely.
If
fine
it was
with
more
that.
consistent, like if all of his
all of his
beard
white,
was gray,
yeah,
that'd be fine.
If you
but the weird like Nike swoosh,
no Guy Fieri beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just there's. If you start putting so many details on somebody, then none of the details can stand out, and it's just.
And then you end up with a Wayne Reynolds D&D character.
Yeah. It's a bunch of stuff that doesn't necessarily fit together.
No.
It's a satchel full of live scorpions. You're welcome. Scorpions.
I'm having flashbacks to the episode of Sea Lab where the guy kept under the pop machine.
Daddy needs his
The
medicine.
Bebop Cola.
That's amazing. Hey, Max,
Yeah.
is there any beer in that bottle?
There is.
Oh,
Oh, there's a
boy.
spiral on his. So there's a spiral on his. His.
That was Wiener?
Yes. I can't think of the name of what guns go in, right? Holster.
His
There we
holster.
go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Max. Ah!
Jimmy T, you want some more?
No, I'm good.
Okay. More for me and Ryan then.
Yeah.
This is never explained.
Just his constant tisking?
No. I get the tisking. But as we see, Fabulous is fallen into some kind of cellar. No crotch shots, please.
Some sink or swim training course
Yeah.
for zombies?
Pretty much.
It's sand in my goddamn eyes.
It's like sparkly sand. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best kind of sand.
Glitter sand.
And all the zombies are bedazzled.
Well, yeah, he's pretty much in like the cave of the zombie fops.
Glitter sand is something we could have bought as children.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh
Florb
yeah,
or
for
something
sure.
Like that.
There's
I
a
mean,
good
we grew up
chance.
in the age of gack.
Yeah.
Fucking gack. It always made the little crust around the opening of the container.
Dried up gack.
Ah, zombies! I got you!
Zombies wearing fingerless gloves.
So why are these zombies so stupid? Relative
What
to the other
zombies are
zombies.
I don't know.
I'm very confused. No, that's a gun.
There's always so much flourish as far as like how the guns are put away. It's like a 30-second process. It's like everyone's an ROTC member.
Whoa. Hey now. What are you doing with that hand?
Yeah.
What kind of movie is this? Ken Faps in the Desert, Part 2.
So what I took away from that weird hand crotch gun bullet placement was like he puts his hand in his belt
Yeah, so
and he
forces
puts the
him to use
bullet in,
yeah.
so he can't remove his hand or loosen the belt.
Yeah. So he's just forcing this guy to fight with his offhand.
Yeah.
Zoom. That's a really bad zoom. Focus.
Yeah.
Focus. Left. Right. This is a nice claustrophobic little set, though.
Yeah. Reminds me a little bit. No, reminded me of Sicario a little. As much.
Boy, I
lot
gotta watch
much.
those.
Yeah, Ryan wouldn't know about that because he's a bad person.
Yeah, despite saying that he should watch it and literally having a copy of Sicario.
I do. I have it on Blu-ray. It's right behind me.
Ryan, let's watch Sicario after this. I don't have to work tomorrow.
Oh, screw you.
Aha!
Time off.
I don't get paid for that day off.
True. Well, okay.
Yeah,
I'm alive.
He's out now.
Well, that seems all
Horrible. So how long has Wesley just been standing in that exact spot? With that pose, waiting for this guy to come out of the dungeon.
Just he's stretching out his calves.
Yeah.
He's doing leg day. Just finished doing some squats.
He's leaning in the exact angle to get his beard white in that certain part.
Right.
He's gonna stay in the sun every day.
I need to bleach my beard.
Yeah.
Maybe he just pulls the hairs off the horse and glues them into his face. I don't know. He's got a white horse.
Nope. No answers.
Nope.
Ah!
I like how fast that snake moves.
Desert noodle!
Desert noodle.
As most horrible flashbacks do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, the next several minutes are exposition like this.
Yep.
I don't understand his syntax choices here and his cadence of speaking. It doesn't seem to align with how he is in the rest of the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. It's much more lyrical than
Yeah.
any of his other lines would say. This isn't a bad scene for him. Like this is this is some good exposition. And I like the camera work if it's constantly spinning around him.
Mm-hmm. Should we have subtitled this episode Django Undead? I don't know, does that make sense here? I don't know.
No.
And she's baller. That's another character.
Where is all that blood going?
And why? Blues in the past, blues in the past. Ah, there's the
Hey,
squirrel.
weird spiral birthmark
I
thing.
think we answered that question. Right?
No, because it's not there anymore, and it wasn't in that scene where she's being raped.
I don't know. Don't trip and fall on scorpions. That's a real thing you got to worry about.
Yep.
Sell the skins, sell the skins.
Where is the nearest town to this little slaughterhouse?
44,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Yarp.
So this, obviously, voiceover is El Senor Snipes.
Yes.
Right?
They're just constantly spinning around him. Just all day.
Rotate! Yeah, Desert Lobo is mad.
Mm-hmm. Desert Lobo. So are we to believe that the little kid we see around the slaughterhouse is the child?
Oh, yeah, with the little rock sling?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess.
And the blonde dreads?
Just for total lack of any other clues as to anything else, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's some heavy shit, man. Like, that's a lot to deal with emotionally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wesley, you the man, bruh. Get those taxes under control.
He served his 3 years in federal prison.
Good work.
But yeah, that reading about like all the several years and the shit he tried to pull, just like, come on, dude. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. The little kid.
So something that they kind of allude to a few times in this movie that I've always thought was kind of fascinating is just having stockpiles of supplies and weapons just at a random place in the desert. But because you're the one who put it there, you know how to find it. Yeah. Because he goes and gets like weapons and shit later. And you're like, oh, it's just under these fucking rocks over on this hill. Like
no one's going to find that. He has his jerky depository.
I have one of those.
I mean, everyone.
Hey,
gonna
guy's like
pop out a tile in your bathroom and just jerky behind it.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Definitely not a masturbation
laudanum.
joke.
Take me home.
As of today, actually, Kayla and I have taken in a dog who just days ago had a leg removed, so he is also hopping around.
Is he also on laudanum?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave him a barrel of it.
Oh, Jesus.
He stitches his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's seen him do it too. That's one of the times where I know you're talking about where just the movie suddenly becomes really gory.
Yep. And so kind of a deep dive thing for me in movies. I've always been simultaneously fascinated by and horrified by the idea of such terrible self-mutilation. Like that, it has to hurt so much. I mean, there are a lot of layers there, and that's a huge discussion. But I don't know how I'd get past the pain. There's so much to talk about there. Now, he seems like a cool guy. So here is pre-death kiss cut. And she kind of brings this up later in the movie. Like, she's like, what the hell, bro?
Yeah.
Why for you killed me?
Uh-oh. She's like...
Because, I mean, really?
The gun is good and the penis is evil.
Why don't you put some fucking lizard skins on your head?
Oh, I looked away and didn't see that he was already hanging.
I haven't been counting, but that seems like more than 6 shots. But I guess he has 2
He
guns.
has 2 guns.
It's like, well, your time is up, brother.
Yeah.
Don't kill Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen stunt double.
Also super nitpicky, but I'm annoyed that he pronounces it sueno here, and then sueño later, which is, if it's supposed to be Spanish sounding, or Spanish in origin, sueño is dream, but sueno is something that I don't know. It's not the same word. Time to be pedantic.
Looks like he's a member of the Ghost Nation right there from Westworld.
Yeah.
So you
I love that part of Westworld.
That's great.
That was to me, one of the best parts was learning about
why they're there.
The Native Americans. Yeah.
the sweet costumes that we were talking about. I do like the costume design a lot in this movie. And this part of the sets, it's clear that they had to make this for the movie.
For sure.
All of the wood is so obviously new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't bother to come out here with like some like gray.
Stained
Stained
wood. They're just like, no, just build it.
I think I saw a Lowe's receipt sticking out of one spot.
Yeah.
Is that Mike Ditka?
Mike Ditka shaved off his mustache.
Yeah, tracking so far. Good ideas. All right. Mm-hmm.
I'm curious where they found this many bleach blondes in the Old West.
Right. Maybe actively bleaching them, I suppose.
Maybe, yeah. With his henchmen of Jason's from Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yeah, again, I love just the hammy, just guilty pleasure vibe from a lot of the ideas in this movie. I think there's a lot of fun here, more so than the movie ever really gets to.
Yeah. Like, I think as a genre, Weird West is definitely undertapped. Like, I feel like there's a ton of things they could do with supernatural stuff in this era. But you have to do a lot to pull it off right. Excuse me.
And I'll be honest, I feel like the story and things that it includes for this movie, I feel like there could be more here that I would actually be interested in watching. Like, if this turned into a miniseries, I'd watch that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be on board for that.
James?
To your point about Weird West, Max, is that they've a lot of really early Weird West stuff took a lot of their weird came from Native American tales and stories and just
extrapolated from
heavily
them,
and then turned them into like reasons for Western things, like Western civilization tales be out there too, or turned a lot of that into like, oh, it's magic, and a lot of just wasn't great. Really was pretty offensive in some ways.
I imagine it's something you definitely have to tread carefully on.
But for this movie doesn't touch any of that really.
No. Other than Slipknot, who is the character with like the lock around his neck, who I think is supposed to be Native American, at least looks Native American. There really isn't any other, Native American presence in this film, at least visually.
Yeah, I mean that in and of itself. There's also the other side where you run into that, where it's like, okay, we've just erased people from a setting that they should be in.
True,
but from a standpoint, they create a weird universe without stealing. Basically.
Yeah, without treading on that.
Yeah,
because they firmly established that there was the Santo Diablo, which is something that's supposed to be Spanish or what have you. So. I do like the dressing of Western Perfectus in the purple, just as that royalty.
Yeah. And this here,
Yeah.
he really does ham it up quite well.
I think it works for the role.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I think aside from Snipes, and maybe even more so, this guy is the standout performance, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Boo! No, so yeah, I got shot. My son gets shot. And this is an interesting. I actually really like the timing of this reveal as far as explaining why all these other people died and came back and why his son didn't. I think that's a cool plot device for what drives this particular psycho.
Yeah.
Those are really bad contacts in that guy. The old guy with the beard. His cut looks fucking awesome. That's just a fucking regular type decoration you'd see in a Silent Hill game somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
awesome, though.
It looks good. It looks really good, though.
What's the guy with the giant metal on his head with the spikes? Is his name Skullbucket? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Nice. San Diablo is just Saint Devil, by the way.
Yep.
Whale's vagina.
This movie is full of people who look like other people. Like the
Which is a common theme for us.
Yes, it is a common theme for us, but I cannot think of the character's name. The female outlaw zombie. She looks a lot like Ingrid Bolso-Bertel, who is from you probably know her from Westworld. She plays Armistice, the woman with the snake tattoo.
Oh yes.
On her face. Yep. Looks a lot like her. And I can't even think of the head villain's name.
In this one?
Yeah, what's the guy's name?
Fuck. I don't know nothing about
whatever his name is.
Kansa, actually.
Kansa.
Yeah.
Kansa looks a lot like Death from East of West. Another like Weird West or sci-fi Weird West story comic series by John Hickman that I really need to get back into reading.
It's very good.
Yep.
Wow.
Highly recommend.
I just want to know what these cows are eating.
Good question. Moo.
Came down on a vat of gushers.
Yep.
That's very good prosthetics, if that's what that is.
Or just dummy cow.
Yeah.
Wondering if it's real cow.
It
looks like real cow.
do we have an Apocalypse Now situation?
That may be fake at that point. Which
But
seems
earlier on,
yeah. I don't know. This might just be real.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
How do you cut yourself with a fucking gardening shovel? You're bad at this, kid.
Yeah. You know what job must have sucked? Being a tanner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm probably putting too much importance on is that the black guy is on the black horse and the white guy's on the white horse.
Unless they're trying to keep their color aesthetic.
Yeah.
Right.
Snipes wears a lot of blue in this, which I do like. You don't see
it
that
works
color
well.
a lot in films like this.
No, you don't. He might be the only person who wears blue in this also.
This lady seems like she's Rosie Perez's older sister, is the vibe I get from her.
I like that little that retort to how much time I got to
Right.
sleep to eat to live.
It's good. This movie has a couple of really sweet lines of dialogue in it, actually.
Yeah.
Max is doing a poor job of imbibing his
Quiet,
alcohol.
you.
So James and I have moved on to a delicious
Oh,
thing.
I'm sorry. I did some pregame before this.
Is this the blood well? Is that just full of blood? No, it's regular type water.
No.
Where does the blood go from the kid dumping it?
What do you think the cows are eating?
Oh.
Vampire cows.
Vampire cows.
Well, that's why they had to cut off the head.
Also, that's outhouse water you're drinking. Man, deserts are such fucking brutal places.
Yep.
You know, she makes these statements here, and often narratives like this that have a character like her give her character a chance to shine later on, and I don't think she really does in this movie, which is kind of disappointing.
No, you are correct.
Maybe.
Having a face. Having a face. is a mistake.
I like that poll.
That's how they tax you. They tax you when you have a face.
Face tax. Gross. So, did we talk over the part about like the devil's mouth or whatever the fuck? Was that a while ago?
Kind
I don't
of.
remember.
They kind of skirt like me. Well, they mentioned like, oh yeah, they Santa Diablo or whatever. They haven't gotten into the full like reveal.
Hmm.
I don't know what that little stand is supposed to be.
What?
This looks delicious.
Yeah.
Well,
What is he doing?
Shaving, maybe?
But he doesn't need to shave. He's clean shaven.
I don't
And
know.
he's
There's
playing
some-
with that thing like he's never seen it before.
there's some weird
Oh, that's right.
exchange.
See, even the kids like you gotta shave.
I just gotta clean up a little bit before I face Ryu under a waterfall. Man, I am
No
playing.
child jigsaw. I do not want to play a game.
Yeah, I'm not playing any games with random desert street rats.
Needs to practice his hurricane kicks.
Yep, we have so many of these skulls laying around. This is just we can bust this one up right now.
This one's name was Bessie. She had 4 buckets of blood in her.
I like the idea of them describing the size of cows via buckets.
Buckets of blood.
Yeah, that's a 17 bucket cow.
Because then you could get like the unexpectedly bloody cow.
Yeah.
Right. I'm stealing that. I'm now describing the size of living things by buckets.
By size of by. Well, then you get into like Nightmare on Elm Street, where you have Johnny Depp sucked into a bed, who's got
Right.
like gallons of blood in
Right.
him.
Those are dream buckets.
Dream blood.
They have no rules.
Ken now has Guile hair.
Right. Sonic boom.
Just flash kicks the kid in the face.
His face right there dealing with the kid is good.
Yeah.
And again, for as poorly executed as it is, I like the suggestions of the relationships between these characters and just who they are.
Yeah.
Some delicious
Good,
sand.
just good landscape though.
Yeah.
Like-
and again, just the shot here is framed really well, I think. I think this is a cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
Wind chimneys clicking. Oh, chimes.
I do like how this scene is shot though. This is like this going through the chimes and the.
Mhm.
I feel like there's some kind of
Yeah.
spirit or entity there, kind of like ooh.
Yeah. Almost like an Evil Dead kind of like through the
like
woods.
a drunken
Yeah.
Evil Dead.
It's very disorienting.
Yes.
And then the background goes to basically white right there.
Yeah.
He's seeing through time, or something like that.
That might be an artifact of the video settings I have going on my projector right now, but we'll ignore that.
I'm gonna say he's seeing through time. What are
Hello?
we drinking now, Ryan?
I don't know, Max.
I'm
Have you caught
finishing
up?
it.
All right. I don't know. We'll talk. I mean, we are drinking a extra special version of Victory at Sea. I think Max is going to grab us a bottle here. So it is the bourbon barrel aged Victory at Sea with like coffee
Well, Victory at Sea regularly is an imperial porter with coffee and vanilla.
right.
But we are drinking the barrel aged Victory at Sea from Ballast Point Brew Company.
So what makes it different?
It's aged in a barrel as opposed to not being in a barrel.
Well, that's right. I thought there was more. Is it just the barrel
no,
aged?
it's just the barrel.
Oh. Well, it tastes like drinking M&Ms and toffee, and it's not overly sweet, and it's fucking really good, I think.
Yeah. One of the problems that we have experienced with Ballast Point, aside from their political contributions, is the consistency of the beer. We've drank the Victory at Sea frequently over the years, and there's been a very wide swath as far as like how coffee or how much vanilla is in the beer. And I know James and Ryan, you still continue to drink some of their peach kolsch, I think.
It's tart peach kolsch.
Peach kolsch,
It's
yeah.
their it's their it's their barmy.
That too.
That's
It's like a honey pear. I can't remember, but it's real good.
Yeah. But you think this brewery has improved in their consistency?
For myself, I honestly don't drink them frequently enough to say.
Okay.
But overall, I do very much like their products.
Yeah, they have some just very interesting beers, and like they have their Red Velvet Stout,
which is real good.
That's good.
Nitro, yeah.
The Nitro one is particularly good.
And personally, I love their bottle design. The artwork is
really
top
good.
notch. It's top notch.
And they carry it well as far as label art. They carry it well through all their products. Like it's a very
It's very
good
consistent
style.
It is the
and-
same artist
yeah.
whose name I'm blanking on right now.
Right.
But no, this is a fine beer.
It's really good.
Fine beer. I had the opportunity to have this on draft once.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
May I steal the bottle?
Yes, you may.
Grazie. Kiss, cut. Kiss, cut. I do like just the horror of the scene, actually.
Yeah, the implications of what's going on in this camp. Just scalping or facing people.
Fucking Scarecrow from Batman.
Yeah.
I really like the design of the goons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got Angel tied up, and
Some Led Zeppelin symbology in the back.
this guy on the left with fucking iguana tails out of the back of his head.
Oh, he has it on his neck as well.
Right.
Something I mentioned to my co-host before we recorded is I wish they would have done more with this iguana guy as far as like showing his entire body or more of him being iguana'd. But
it's probably budgetary and talent restraints.
yeah. Plus, like you see his coat is made up of lizard skins.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, but this is another excellent beer for tonight. And it bears repeating that it just tastes like candy, but it really isn't overly sweet. It's not.
It smells a
In my
lot
opinion.
sweeter than it actually is.
Yeah.
That's probably the vanilla.
Bourbon and rye barrels. Mm.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, Max. So this scene builds a little bit of just some history between the boss dealing with his fucking goons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I have her lips? Yeah.
It's fucking weird symbols in the back there. Some Venn diagrams.
Yeah, it's from Led Zeppelin 4.
Mm.
I like the idea that they're trying to graft new skin onto the
Out of the corpse.
onto the corpse.
of,
Yeah,
of his son, Kansa's son.
yeah.
But we never actually hear his name, I don't think.
No, just Junior. We'll just call him Junior.
Yeah. That looks ridiculous, and I love it.
It's so...
Skullbucket looks like a character out of Mandy.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah. Which, if you haven't seen Mandy, go see Mandy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
For sure. You're coming with me.
One of Nick Cage's best performances in a while.
And just an overall fantastic movie, yeah.
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 Do you guys know that in 2018 he has 7 movies coming out?
I believe that.
He just
He pops
works.
up in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy.
Yep.
I thought a dove was going to come out of his hands.
Forgive me, Father, for I have skinned is just kind of a good line.
It is
Oh,
a really
yeah.
cool line. What's I'm trying to decode the implications of this guy's accent in the context of this story.
Yeah.
Moscow. Like, where is he supposed to be from that
Middle
he's
Earth.
talking like this?
He's Golem.
I guess. the
map to Skull Mountain.
the obviously rubber lizard tails are amazing to me.
Yeah. Way too floppy. If anything, this is like the slow part of the movie where I'm just like,
Yeah.
move it on. Come on. Get to
Yeah.
the ridiculousness that you know is coming.
So this guy's voice, Kansa, the main baddie here, his voice reminds me pretty well of, Brad Dourif, the guy who voices Chucky.
Oh,
in the Child's
yeah,
Play
okay, I can
movies.
see
There's
that.
a lot of similarities in his delivery and just like how he actually sounds, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. He does look like a blonde Tommy Wiseau a little bit.
Oof. Oh, hi, Desert.
Shipped.
Got your Grubhub. What the fuck?
The fact that it's still like flippy floppy is
It's weird.
Yeah.
That's a great line, actually.
does the rest of them arrive monthly.
I feel
Good
like
line
it's an anachronistic joke, but still a very good one.
Pony Express.
Yeah.
That's the rest of them will arrive monthly. Oh, that's good. I had forgotten about that, actually.
Yes, we know he's the guy who got shot.
And then got poked in the face, and I guess we're not going to talk about that anymore.
Okay. So Slipknot did not have yellow eyes before, but now he does. So that's the implication is that, well, whomever Anka kills becomes a zombie,
Mm.
not just the initial people that he had previously killed.
Skull bucket. It's just the hardcore emo version of Plankton's restaurant. Chum Bucket. Skull bucket.
Chum Bucket Extreme.
Dust Devil. That looked real. I feel like that was real.
Yeah, it's a good chance it's real.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, are like Dust Devils and Cyclones a thing outside of the U.S.?
I'm sure they can
Yeah.
be. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, I'm just thinking like I can't ever hear stories of twisters or cyclones like plaguing other parts of the earth
Well-
besides the U.S.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
little
that's
du-
different than a dust devil, though. in
Yeah,
terms of
little
scale.
dust devils are just
Yeah.
wind blowing around, really, is what it is. What it
okay.
is.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Go back inside. I got to punch up a car.
Right. Yeah.
Got 60 seconds to do it.
Yeah. The
Bada
zombie
boom.
murders are really fun, lady.
I'm missing a finger. Nice little touch on that character.
Yeah.
She's a butcher. She's lost a finger.
We had an intern at work last week almost chop his finger off. He had to get 5 stitches.
Dunk
boy.
me into the blood, the blood well.
All right. Where is the blood well? That's the biggest mystery this movie has. Where's all the fucking blood going?
Mm-hmm. I like how there's a goon dressed as a sheep.
Yeah.
Right there. Literally right there.
And it's cool, though, because you might miss it
Well,
in the earlier shots.
Well,
But
there's the
bye.
exploding head. Yeah, there's a split second where you see it,
Yeah.
and then it goes back to it. It's plainly obvious.
That's great, though. And that was a great bit of just gore, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little over the top in a way that matches the rest of this movie.
But now I think it's a good signifier of what's about to come as far as this movie goes.
That's a great shot.
The horse continuing to run is what sells that shot.
And
for me.
again,
Yeah.
he drops it into a hollow log, like in the bark.
Yeah.
So it's just like in the fucking desert. No one's gonna find that. No one except him. But does he just have it again in that same shot?
No,
though?
that's a Winchester he has right
okay.
there.
Got that Cowboy repeater rifle. You got the Gunrunner DLC.
Ah! Horse down. And I guess he's just awesome with whips, too.
Yep.
He's a good shot, knows a whip, and he can rip your fucking spine out.
Is it more brutal Indiana Jones?
Yeah. Sand zombies! What?
Hiding in the blood well.
I guess.
I like to think that guy was just up there
Yeah.
for like ever.
Silently
never see
waiting.
me.
Just blending in with the wall. With
The back of his jacket is barn
it's
design.
lined like planks.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny.
He's cut the back of the hair on the back of his head into the shape of a barn plank.
Spooky desert sand. Woo.
Helmet's
Skull
so
bucket.
ridiculous.
That thing has
To generate so much whiplash every time he turns.
yeah. The weight of that alone would incapacitate that
It's like
guy.
a 70-pound helmet.
It's a zombie. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh man.
Ah, ceiling goons. Floor goons. Ah. Bang. Bang.
This movie's just a bunch of clangs.
He's just knocking them out via concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking corpse. Hanging from the ceiling. Again, I don't... And maybe I'm... Jesus! Oh, yeah!
Half zombie, half rhino.
And then somehow the fucking tween outsmarts him.
Yep.
Ah, I feel like that was a bad time for Skullbucket.
Yep.
Enjoy your fucking migraine!
I like that shot of the inside of his helmet.
Just
where
the
you
tiny
barely
slat.
see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to be very far away for him to see it.
Ah!
I like that this guy is that all these bad guys are basically just video game mini bosses too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the guy with the
Fighting-
belt with the head full of knives.
Right.
Yeah. Fighting Skullbucket's like fighting Bane from Batman.
That's
Gotta
basically...
dodge and stun him with
That's
a
basically
batarang.
his katana shot.
Yeah, I was
isn't
going
it?
to say, that's his blade stance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put your head in the ground. He can't keep doing
Right.
anything to you then.
Whoops. This is really dumb.
He's so silly looking.
Yeah. If the movie were more like this final, well, not final scene, but near the end of the movie scene, I think it'd be much more enjoyable and fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
well,
it goes back and forth to being like this, just like this ridiculous romp here,
right.
to some of the more like slow, long people staring each other down kind of stuff.
The music is a little weird for this whole sequence too.
Yeah, it is. It's got this kind of
It's like almost like,
drony guitar kind of thing.
yeah.
The score that plays during the end credits, I think, is a little bit more appropriate for the style of movie that this is. But yeah, right now it's just kind of not there for me. I don't know.
Now it's kind of generic-y, action-y.
Yeah.
Now the dreadlocks look ridiculous.
So Snipes has just hooked up Skullbucket with some fucking meat hooks, and now they're falling through the floors.
Mm-hmm.
Into the basement. The basement's where all the good stuff happens. You're definitely safe in the basement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the power of my dreads. Has Wesley Snipes ever had dreads? Like, actually? I don't know.
I've never seen him without short hair.
Same.
Either
Yeah,
way,
fuck
good
this
wig.
shit, I'm out. Where this eventually culminates here in a few moments, I thought was cool. It was just like, oh yeah, remember this from a couple minutes ago?
Yeah.
Earlier in the movie?
Yeah.
Nice scene
Retreating
transition,
dust.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys aren't even part of the movie. That's just what they found in the desert when they shot it. Also, same for these guys.
Those aren't guys. That's just
The
naturally
scenery.
occurring rocks that
Yeah.
look like men.
They look like dead bros. Yeah, again, so we have the mistress just all bloodied and exhausted, but she didn't do anything. Or at least not that we saw.
Yeah.
That's a handsome man.
Who the fuck's that guy?
I don't know. The Toxic Avenger in the Wild West? I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
It's
fair,
Toxie.
Fair.
He knocked off the part of the helmet from Buckethead or whatever it was.
Buckethead got guillotined, though.
Yeah, but he threw that off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Amon. So that's the first time we've heard Wesley Snipes' character's name, Amon. And I know this is intentional, but there's no way you sneak up on someone sprinting like this in the desert.
No.
Death Gurgle. Kids.
Yeah, I think you were
So-
right, James. The guillotine apparently didn't kill Buckethead.
Yeah.
It just shattered his
Good guitar player, though. Or Skull Bucket.
skull bucket. Yeah.
Buckethead being the guitar player who wears a KFC bucket on his head and like a white mask, face mask thing.
Does he play in the band Mac Sabbath, in which everyone dresses up like someone from McDonald's and they play hard rock
I don't think so.
metal? All right, well.
That's wonderful.
But he does have a song called Buckethead versus the Shape,
Ooh.
which is, Buckethead versus Michael Myers.
Right.
But no, yeah, he's a legit, like, very, very good guitar player.
Yeah, so Fabulous, is that this guy's name?
Yep.
Yep.
I guess that implies that we should think he's handsome. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he can gun with both hands.
That's true.
Pretty good skill. He's the Wild West equivalent of an elf or Legolas.
He doesn't leave any footprints in the sand.
Got the two weapons, blonde,
All right.
can't grow a beard.
All right. I guess we did. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Where's the other half of his payment?
How do you guys feel about what Snipes does to Fabulous here? Is it a mercy? Is he allowing him to live more even though he will be an undead thing?
The way this movie handles being undead to me is one of the pretty numerous instances where is it really that bad to be undead? Like, your eyes change color? There appear to be not many other problems with it.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
You get Witcher eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, somehow Karsa's skin fell off, but whatever. Aha!
It's just,
I like the thrusting forward.
yeah.
Ugh. Even though this is only an hour and a half movie, it feels like a lot longer
It
than an hour
does
and a half
feel
movie.
a lot longer.
Yeah. It drags.
Well, you're not wrong.
Snipes does have some good one-liners in this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's
So-
the slow-mo you're talking about, Max, where it's
Yeah.
just like, why is this in slow-mo?
I wonder if this movie did it get like an actual release?
It was at
It's-
some kind of film festival in 2013, I believe.
Huh.
But the movie finished like production in 2010, but didn't actually get a release until then.
It seems like a straight to
It's
video
a direct
deal,
to DVD kind of thing.
which does not necessarily condemn a movie to being bad.
No, but not a sign of quality usually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My actually favorite recent example of that is Curse of Chucky, which was a straight to VOD and DVD release, and it's fucking great.
Was that the newest one?
Yep.
Okay.
No. Sorry, no, it's not. It's the second to newest one. The newest one is Cult of Chucky, which is terrible.
Oh,
Curse of
Curse is the
Chucky's-
one that we watched
Yeah.
for movie night. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Pew! Pew!
Yeah, that guy's a good shot.
Blood?
Now we get some more backstory exposition on how Amon became the badass that he is.
On how he became Desert Blade. Ah!
Pretty much.
Fucking scorpions.
As opposed to being a daywalker, he's a Gallowwalker.
Hey. So yeah, the fucking enormous tumble he's about to take down this hill is something.
It looks fun, though.
I don't know that it does.
That looks terrible.
That's the thing where you're like, well, I'm getting paid a lot to beat the shit out of myself down this hill.
That's what stunt people are for. But also, I would do that job. Just maybe let me roll down that hill.
It's so far. God. And now he comes to rest.
Yep.
Different person on a house.
Do you think they Dutch angled that right there?
Maybe. That was like nothing the same scene as far as like giant desert hill and then just like Badlands.
It's some cameo appearances, perhaps, by a dog we're fostering on right now.
What is the dog's name?
Well, he doesn't really have a name right now.
Oh.
We're
The
Courtesy of
dog
James.
with no name.
And the dog with no name. We're going to call him Champion.
Yes.
Courtesy of James, Parks and Rec.
Yes.
He had a leg removed only days ago. Any day. Anyway, we're back to listening to the devil.
Good devil voiceover.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, when did they kill the horror?
I don't know that they did. I feel like we see her again and she's not zombified.
Maybe
don't
it's a
know.
weird dream vision
Yeah.
thing. So
I assume it's probably for, again, lack of budget and lack of talent available. But I actually like only hearing the devil and not seeing it in this scene.
that's fine.
Yes,
You don't need
yeah.
to see the devil. There's nothing
To be
seeing the
gained
devil
from
would
it.
add to this. Yep. But no, yeah, this is a flashback, so that was
Right.
not the actual same.
That wasn't Angel.
No. Yeah, that's her name.
Dun, dun. Back to Fabulous and his fancy new eyes.
Yep.
I would describe that eye color as power bait yellow. For anyone who fishes, that may make sense to you.
I was gonna say, Ryan, I didn't know you fish, but then I remember that your Facebook photo is you holding a fish.
Yes. This is one of the few scenes where where Consta looks weirdly older than usual.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why, actually.
I like the little effects on his voice there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just chopping the rocks, boss. What are they fucking doing?
Hmm.
So this concert really goes hard for the Kubrickian, head down, looking at you, kind of under your brow kind of thing.
Yeah.
Why her skin, though?
She's got
He's-
fine skin.
He's a dude.
Because he's not confined to the traditional aspects of masculinity.
Fair enough.
There's more of those people-shaped rocks coming down there.
It's just everywhere, man. Is that what that was? Okay. I think he's just wearing him like a fucking backpack.
Casca, that's her name, yeah.
So it's a little weird that the movie kind of associates with kind of associates scarification with being evil. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm now having flashbacks to watching this movie last week. Must have been drinking a lot more than I thought I was. We have weird hieroglyph stuff now.
Yeah, this is a strange set compared to everything else.
Mm-hmm. This entire exchange in these catacombs means nothing.
No. Karsa looks a little bit like Jeremiah Sand from Mandy.
The mountain to bear my ambiguous accent.
Why?
Fucking
Just
creepy
have them go
statues.
one way.
You earned my coat. And this is weird. The cuffs comment is a weird pull back to Constance's comment way at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not funny.
Yeah. Come on, movie. You can wrap it up.
Yeah, you can finish. And yeah, you don't sneak up to someone
With spurs.
with spurs in a giant, empty, silent catacomb.
Of dubious origin.
She just looks so bored.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, yeah, there you go, James. Your
Yeah.
callback to you blew me a kiss, you blew me away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean,
That was Ryan, I think.
but yeah, but why though? Like, why did he kill her? I'm with her in this.
I think he was just like murder angry.
I know. That's kind of her point. Again, so the scarification. One of my good friends and roommates in college had quite a bit of scarification, and it actually looks quite a bit better in real life than it does here in this movie. Guns it is. Here are my knives.
Something I will give this movie props for is the
Is it
portrayal
props?
of the women in it. They're competent. They're not just all damsels and whatnot.
Right.
They are independent businesswomen as far as like the butcher goes, and then
Right.
she holds her own until she gets shot.
And Angel is clearly, not helpless, although she kind of pokes fun at that at the end of the movie.
Yes.
That was such a disappointing exchange between those two. Like, the movie does puts a lot of effort into making Kiss Cut appear to be really lethal,
Mm-hmm.
and competent. But just to have her go out like that, I think, is a disservice to the character.
Someone drew a penis on that.
Yeah.
2 penises. 3 penises.
It's an Ouroboros.
It's a tridicta.
Yeah. Tridickian.
That's a sweet shot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shot.
So we've got Amon, Wesley, approaching the sun. Not the body in the universe. but
California
the guy's
raisin?
son. Yeah. I was a little confused about this. Is it
I think it's supposed to be
a hallucination?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's supposed to be the woman he loved.
Yeah. But is this hallucination driven by Amon, or is it driven by Kansa? I wonder. Oh, that's okay. So it's actually Angel.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's not Kansa. That's Lizard Bra.
Yes.
Yep.
'Cause, yeah, he says, the coat, my coat of, blah, blah, blah.
He's got the coat.
Coat of mine
yeah.
you like, you just earned it. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Which is, I liked that payoff actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a nice little.
Switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Kansa approaching, gun in hand. That still is a cool looking character design for Kansa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if he isn't Jed Perfectus. Go watch our episode on Death Race 2050. It's fun.
Right. There's another version of fucking Death Race on Netflix that I noticed the other day. It's wild.
Well, there's Death Race 2000, which is the original Corman film from the 70s with Sly Stallone in
Yep.
it as Machine Gun Joe. Then there's Death Race with Jason Statham that we
Right.
watched in episode 2.
Right. And then there's 2050.
2050. But there are several sequels to the Jason Statham one, none of
Yes.
which have Jason Statham in it.
Nope.
One of them has Sean Bean in it.
Footsteps approach. And Fabulous has returned in a much better outfit.
Yeah, good coat.
Yeah, he looks awesome right here.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Although I'm a
that
little...
gun looks way too clean for this movie.
Right.
The whole ritual of how they put their guns in backwards and then flip it seems excessive.
Yeah.
It's so what it is that when you flip it backwards like that, when you're putting it down,
Mm-hmm.
you can't reach up and shoot. So he's showing that he is
He is unarmed himself.
unarmed until he puts it away.
I figured it was something like that, but still, it's yeah. No one in this movie has that much honor.
Yeah, Fabulous looks so much cooler right
Yeah.
here.
Still can't grow a beard.
Nope. No shaving for you, bruh. This fucking guy.
Yeah, the blue eyes just really work
Right.
with that design.
Yep.
And it's a very ominous blue, too, in, as far as the overall look of the character.
Mm-hmm.
This death is, yes, spoilers, he dies. I think as unnecessarily hammy as the sheriff just like reaching into the sky at the beginning of the movie and be like, oh no, I'm dead. Ah!
I do like this if he tries to put his gun away, but
Just
can't.
fumbles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But why isn't he just straight up dead?
because zombies die slow, apparently. I don't know.
Plot armor, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got a dramatic death.
Oh, and then and now we get... Oh, I forgot about this. All right. So in a moment here. He looks like Willem Dafoe right here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
Shit, dog.
Yes, we know.
That's
no
the
more
kind of-
flashbacks.
That's the kind of language that gets you killed.
Why do you not have any more skin? That's the real question.
Right. Flashbacks. Yeah. Uh-huh. His eyes, man. That's why he didn't come back. This is...
That's just a dick move.
yeah, it's such a twist of the knife. That's just...
Bad CG.
That CGI is rough.
It's real bad.
Yeah, like the hair isn't even rendering correctly in some of that right there.
No.
Yeah.
I do like the little idol he's laid up against, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Right? I'm a woman in need of rescue.
I'm a man with a hat.
Get it?
Yeah, it's a good little callback.
Fucking head. Give me that back.
Just gonna take care of this.
This is a great line. That's a great line.
Yeah, there's
Yep.
just,
No one taught you how to
just
live.
good action-y one-lines from Snipes in this movie.
Yeah.
I think some of them even just cross into just cool lines. Not
Yeah.
even necessarily like cheesy one-liners
Right.
or anything.
Yeah, so yeah, that is Gallowwalkers. Now we see these weird little comic booky end credits, which I think work well. I mean,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
kind of Sin City-y.
I
as
like
far
the
as
art
just the
style.
basic three colors.
A lot, actually.
Marshall Gaza, yeah. They work well, I think. Well, that wraps up another episode of Good Brews, Bad Views. As always, view again, brew again.
Sorry, skull bucket.
Yeah, skull bucket, yeah. Ryan, you first. View again, brew again. Would you watch Gallowwalkers again? Would you drink these beers again?
You'll get murdered by the skull bucket. Okay, I'm going to start with View again. It's so barely a maybe. Just kind of like, I think I would maybe fast forward through a lot of this movie and stop at certain parts with someone and be like, hey, check this really cool set of ideas that's executed terribly and awkwardly. But I think there's a lot of cool stuff here. But I don't know that I would purposefully sit down and watch this start to finish again. Probably not. Almost certainly not. Oh, and directed by Andrew Goth. Brew Again. Hell yes, Max. That first beer from Batch was
Requieted.
absolutely glorious. Absolutely glorious. Delicious. That's hands down my favorite beer of the night and one of the best beers I've had in a long time. Not that we haven't had some great stuff recently, but that was just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Again, good balance between the Belgian quad and just a little shade of the bourbon barrel. Oh, so good. The Victory at Sea bourbon barrel aged, also really good. We gushed about that quite a bit. It's like drinking a dessert without being overly sweet. That's all I have to say about that.
James.
So 2 things before I get into this. One, that art really reminded me of Darkest Dungeon.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Love that game.
And 2, if you notice in the credits, there is a stunt double for Mr. Snipes, and then right below it is stunt double for Skull Bucket. His actual
great.
name. Anyway, I can't see myself watching this movie as much as I would want to say yes, from just because it's visually it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I can see myself putting it on and finding a scene to try to maybe get a little bit of inspiration from the scene or something like that. But from a movie perspective, I would never watch this as a movie.
Yeah.
To sit down and actually focus on it.
Yeah, not even
put it or 3 hours as it feels like.
It's not interesting enough to have on into the background or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there are movies that I will put on that aren't very good, that have a lot of really interesting visuals to them. I think Van Helsing's a good example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that movie's got a very consistent pace.
Yeah, and so it's always there's always something up to look up and be like, oh yeah, that's kind of neat looking, or that's that. I don't even need to be paying attention to the movie at all. It's just kind of visually, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. This just takes so long to get from cool thing to cool thing that I don't particularly want to put it on. Beers, the Batch beer was really, really good. I adored that. And then Victory at Sea. I like Victory at Sea. I'm the one, Max, that that has had the problems with inconsistency between.
Well, I've tasted the one that you had a problem with, and I can agree on it was vastly different from the first time I had it. So it's not just a you thing. It's
but I've purchased it 3 times, and it's tasted different every time I bought it. So I hadn't actually bought it in a while. I would probably almost 3 years if that. So maybe it's gotten
2.
Maybe it's gotten better. Yeah, maybe 2. But it hopefully it's gotten better. This was really good. I like this a lot. So
all right. Yeah, this is just shy of being a background movie. Initially I'm like, oh yeah, this would be a fine movie to put on when I'm painting miniatures or something like that. But look up every now and then. But compared to Van Helsing, which I think would be the perfect painting movie, because there's so much you'd be like, oh yeah, look, cool little vampires flying around the square. Oh cool,
right?
Weird dance ballroom thing. This is just okay, a cool initial 10 minutes, then and then a cool little Act 3.
Yeah, it'd be just about any time you looked up, you'd be like, oh, it's a guy standing in the desert.
Staring at something.
Almost every time. Yeah, standing in the desert, staring at desert.
Yeah. So, it's got the movie has some interesting concepts, but
right, for sure.
It doesn't act upon them, or I want more of it.
I'm the same.
For being one of the shortest movies we've done, this has felt like one of the longer episodes we've recorded.
Yeah.
And, that's part of me I watched this movie I was one who suggested this, and after watching it I was like, will it be is it entertaining enough for us to sit down and do this? And I think it's just skirting that line.
I agree.
There's just enough for us to sit down and talk about this.
Sure. Yep.
As the beers go, Requieted for sure, no doubt about it. This beer is actually rather inexpensive for what it is, for being a 2016 bourbon barrel aged quad. This bomber was $14.
What?
Oh wow, really?
That's a great deal.
Yeah,
yeah, especially for some of the other beers we've had, which have been definitely more than that, but nowhere near as satisfying. So yeah, $14. I got this from 8 Degrees Plato, one of the best bottle shops / bars in Detroit and Ferndale. And then the Victory at Sea, bourbon barrel aged. This one was definitely good. It's a beer I begrudgingly drink because of the company's political contributions and stuff like that. We've talked about enough about that in the past, so I'm not going to retread on that ground. But you have to make your own choices in this day and age. So do what feels right for you. But yeah, in summary of this entire experience, I would like to see more of this style of movie, maybe with just a little bit more tighter films. I think there's a lot of potential for these kind of stories, and I feel like there's generally been an increase in the Western, at least interest, as far as things like Westworld or the second Red Dead Redemption, which everyone is raving about right now. So there's potential, because right now there hasn't been a lot of Western movies, whether just like strict Western or otherwise, in comparison with 70 years ago. And I think it was 40% of all movies were cowboy movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it back then is because they were cheap to make, right?
Yeah,
they were incredibly cheap to make. And a lot of the westerns we've been getting still are remakes of a lot of those old westerns.
Yeah, Magnificent Seven, 310 to Yuma. Yeah. But I kind of feel like superhero movies right now have taken the place of westerns, where it's like, oh yeah, it's another superhero movie. What's different about this one as opposed to the other ones and stuff like that. So, I think with modern filmmaking techniques and being able to shoot in all these various locations, there could be some interesting stories that could be told. So whether or not that happens, we'll see. But I think it's been a long time since something original has come out in this genre.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I don't really care much for the just standard Western genre myself. And
they are typically very slow. You watch a Clint Eastwood movie, you're in for at least 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and it just isn't off the cuff kind of movie that I had seen somewhat recently. The only one that I can think of actually that's, I guess, a Western would be The Hateful Eight, which is a great movie, but I can't think of any other movies that would even come close to qualifying as a Western that I would have seen. That's just, I don't know. That's something that's never really interested me.
Yeah, it's definitely an investment. I legitimately can't think of a Western that's less than 2 hours, or at least Clint Eastwood.
Gallowwalkers.
What?
I said Gallowwalkers.
Oh, well, this felt like 2 hours.
It did. It really did.
Anything you guys want to throw in before we wrap this thing up?
Not really. I mean, I would be interested in seeing more as you kind of fill us in earlier, the weird Western type stuff. Like, that interests me. If you can pull some sort of other dimensional or supernatural kind of aspect into, for me, any kind of movie, that engenders more interest with me. So I'd like to see that explored more in movies like this.
Yeah, like could you imagine like a werewolf or like a were-coyote? Like it's set in the West. That'd be kind of different. I'm not saying it'd be good.
Okay, I actually thought of this earlier. Have you guys seen Cowboys and Aliens? I have not.
I have not.
I have not either.
Okay, good talk. Yeah,
I know it's based off a comic and starring James Bond.
Right.
Or Daniel Craig. James Bond.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's based off an IDW comic. But
yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I didn't hear good things.
Nor did I.
Nope.
I remember from the trailers, I'm like, ugh, that's gonna be a flop. But whatever. It was different than what other superhero movies were coming out at the time, so I can give it that at least.
Yeah.
But other than that, so what do you guys have been watching, drinking, reading, playing? Any games or movies or anything like that you want to plug or tell people to check out?
I would like to plug The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. I really enjoyed that. It's an extra, probably one of the slowest TV shows I've watched, period. But the character development and acting and setting I thought was so good that it just really kept me engaged. And that's hard to do when a show is that slow. And it really is that slow. But I like it a lot.
I've heard there's a very good single take shot, like episode 6 or something like that.
Yep. It's just one long shot, and it was great because it's impressive technically, but it just keeps going. It's the same cut. It was really wild. The show doesn't do that a lot, but a couple of times it's impressive technically.
Cool.
A lot of good reasons to like that show, I think.
James?
I'm busy with house stuff.
Oh,
so.
yeah. I understand. I understand.
Yeah, you're still unpacking. You don't get to feel how haunted your new house is yet.
No,
That's
not yet.
after you settle in.
Yeah.
I'll say go check out Castlevania season 2.
I've heard
on
nothing
Netflix.
but good.
It is very, very good. The animation quality of season 1 was kind of flaky. It would go between being very detailed to being kind of like you would see in some anime, but the season 2 definite improvement of the quality of the animation. The fight scenes are spectacular. Great voice acting. Peter Stormare is in it, actually.
Nice.
As like a Viking kind of vampire.
That's great.
And it's not like we've been talking about in previous episodes about adaptations. It's not beholden to the property it's based off of. It's like, yes, it's Castlevania. Here are the characters.
Right.
Here's the concepts, but it's not like a beat for beat. Here's Castlevania 3. I think that's the game the series is kind of a little bit based off of. So definitely check it out. Great writing. At least I think it's great writing because Warren Ellis wrote it, and I love his writing style. Animation's great. Just go check it out. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it.
And I've whether it's live action or animation, I've always got a real soft spot for just people with cool voices, whether it's they have a naturally cool voice or can make a very cool voice in the case of a lot of voice actors. But Richard Armitage is one of those people who just his normal speaking voice I think is so cool.
Oh yeah,
like from the Hobbit movies, and then
he
from
does a great job as Dracula.
Yeah. He's just so good. No, he's Richard Armitage is. I thought he was Belmont in the show. I'll double check, but
you might be right.
I'm pretty sure he was Belmont.
You know me, I'm terrible with names,
Yeah.
but he very well could be. He's
a
Belmont.
miserable pile of secrets.
Yeah.
A miserable pile of secrets.
They don't do that line, unfortunately, but there's just some solid writing in that series. They introduce some characters who I don't think were in the games but are more engaging, I think, than some of the actual people from the series. So
I like season 1 a lot, so I'm glad to hear that season 2 is good.
Season 2 is beyond far better than season 1 was.
Nice.
Cool. And it got renewed for a 3rd season, so cool.
Good on them.
So yeah, that wraps up another episode of Good Brews, Bad Views. Thank you all for sitting through this movie with us and maybe drinking some beer with us and maybe learning stuff about Westerns and having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not already following us, check us out on Twitter at GBBV Podcast or on Facebook, Good Brews, Bad Views, or facebook.com/GBBV Podcast. Check out our website, www.goodbrewsbadviews.com. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and wherever fine podcasts can be found.
PodBean.
Yep, PodBean, yep. Instagram as well, where you can find some cool photos of beers we've been drinking and just us going outs and abouts. And as always, please watch
And drink.
Responsibly.
Bye-bye.
Pay your fucking taxes.